Alrighty team, here we are, episode 17 of the AUNZ Music Podcast. Welcome back. Today, I'm joined by another Melbourneian. This is Hayley. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Glad to have you. I'll give you a bit of background information on Hayley. She didn't grow up with a strong musical background and only got into music as an adult. She is a beginner songwriter and singer, never released anything, and is currently one half of a musical duo with her friend Howard. What makes her story really interesting is the other side. She works in paid advertising at a digital marketing agency that directly supports local festivals, touring artists, and Australian venues. She's been there just over a year, so she's seen firsthand how artists and venues actually move tickets and reach audiences, a perspective most emerging musicians never get access to. How has that been going for the last year, Hayley?
It's been good. It's been good. It's a very small team. It's me and my boss and a sprinkling of other people. And my boss has been in the industry for yonks and knows everyone and has connections everywhere. So it's been really nice the last year to just see how he runs things and, yeah, kind of see what it's all about. The artists and the
Very
venues
good.
and the music, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot there for sure. We're going to dive into that slowly, drip feed it as we go through the
You gotta
podcast.
tease it. You gotta dip your toe in first.
Teasing it indeed. And Hayley, we ask our guests for a funny, silly fact outside of the music realm just to get us going. Do you got anything for us?
I do. So, growing up as a kid, I did watch a lot of movies, but they kind of did lean towards like kids and family and Disney movies to the point where I didn't see most of the major franchises of films until adulthood. So there was a time a year ago, and in fact, we can play this game if you want, where you could name a franchise or a film, and there was a really high chance I hadn't seen it.
Right. So you just got fed the Disney stuff though.
Yeah, the Disney pipeline for sure.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty broad pipeline, especially nowadays. But I'm guessing, so does that include like Star Wars, Marvel,
Disney Princess Pipeline, I should say. Yeah.
Disney Princess?
I'm currently watching Star Wars, going through all
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a slog. That's a slog.
Yes.
But worth it. I love
Very
it.
worth
Great
it.
soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's jump into the news for the week. This one is called Instagram Details the Features in its new Plus subscription. It's from Music Alley author Stuart Dredge. Instagram has confirmed the details of what people will be getting in the $5.49 per month Instagram Plus tier. Features include the ability to give your story priority for your friends, as well as sending super hearts for their stories, and creating as many audience lists as you want. Those posts will also be able to last for 48 hours. There will also be the option to preview stories without the pressure to react, get insights on how many times stories were rewatched, and even quickly check if a specific person viewed your story. Custom app icons, profile bio fonts, more pinned posts, and the ability to post to your profile or highlights without it appearing in your friend's feed are also part of the launch features for the subscription. It rolled out globally on June 4th, and we are recording here on the 23rd of June. And there is still a Meta promise of opening a creator subscription, which was trialed in May. as premium tools that allow you to enhance presence, supercharge content, automate tasks, and protect your brand. A lot happening there. Now, with your experience in the land of marketing, Hayley, this is new ground. The map has expanded in the world of social media. Paid social media, the ad model might be a thing of the past before we know it. What do you make of this news piece? How should musicians be reading into this?
It is new territory for sure. What do I make of it? So I think obviously they'll be keeping a free version of it. I think there's understandably a lot of negative sentiment around this, where obviously something's free and now it's turning to a subscription model. Some of the features that I was reading about are kind of meh, or it's like they were requested, but putting that and branding it as like this premium thing just feels a bit sus from old Zuck. As for the creator thing, again, I was reading into this. I think it'll be a case of wait and see, mainly because some of the benefits are getting verified with the blue tick a lot easier, as well as having greater protections around imposters, like in detecting if someone online is trying to impersonate you. They can kind of shut that down much quicker. And one of the other things they said was you get faster access to customer support. So whether that's an AI bot or a real human. And again, that last one in particular, they're branding it as like some premium feature. But that alone, yeah, we might have to see what other features come with it or like what future roadmap is planned to kind of make a full verdict. But I think if you're a super small creator who's like just starting out or you are still building that presence, I don't think you need to immediately rush to go and get this subscription necessarily.
Agreed. Yeah, I felt the same about some of the features were just a bit like, yeah, do I need to do that? Some people, they might be catered to some specific people, right? Some people might really like those specific insights. A lot of it just seems like more data points. And I feel like we're already drowning in data as it is, but I think it could definitely be just a cool to be like, you got to stay with the game. You know, like that feature to be highlighted in your friends' stories before anyone else, that stood out to me. A lot of people would buy it just for that, I think, you know, in itself. And a 48-hour story, too, if you're there at the front of your friend's story for 48 hours. I mean, most people click on that for a story, I think. So there's probably value in that if your story is good. Yeah, other than that, it just feels like, honestly, I think it's actually a little bit late to the game in terms of a subscription model. I'm surprised it's taken them this long because everything else is a subscription model. And man, there's ads on social media now. It feels like every third post is an ad or an influencer. If it's not a direct ad from Instagram, then it's a like, what do you call it? An organic ad?
Yeah, those suggested ones.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think it would do just in general for algorithm? Even if I'm just wondering if you even had the paid subscription, if now you're just a preferential algorithmic character.
Yeah, I like that phrasing. I kind of think potentially similar. Again, just at face value, it does kind of give like slight pay to win vibes, where just by virtue of you paying the higher subscription, you get access to, preferential feed appearances or whatever, or you can kind of push your stories or make it last a bit longer. Going back to what you said before, I think one other feature, which I think would also be part of Instagram, is like multiple profile pictures, which I think people would also actually really like, especially because people are multifaceted. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I think the whole idea
Is that what excited you the most, or was there anything else that grabbed you?
Great segue. Well, I think the whole reason the paid subscription thing came about was because of changing privacy laws over in Europe. So the GDPR was basically cracking down on how much data points Facebook could have and how they could weaponize that for advertising purposes. And so the paid thing supposedly will offer some users like greater protections against that. So if you're free, unlucky. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, also I agree with what you said before about it kind of seeming a bit late to the party, because my immediate reaction was, although the price itself of $4.99 a month or whatever it was seems relatively low and innocuous, the timing of which it's coming about with like, people are already fatigued with different streaming services. It's like we're introducing another one for something that was previously free. Yeah. Yeah, I agree that like the timing probably would just, I don't know, it feels a bit icky.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I feel like nothing was ever free for starters.
True.
We all paid with our attention,
Yeah.
in one way, shape, or form, and it's going to be interesting to see how the model evolves. I think they're just opening the door and taking that first step inside,
Yeah.
because what is going to happen to this model? What will happen to this model will be informed by what the users want from it, right? It's going to be a demand meets product subscription features sort of thing, especially with certain AI features that they might roll out with it,
Mhm.
or even access or premium access to edits as well, the video editing platform that Instagram has, and maybe specific AI editing tools too there that you would get with the paid subscription. It's interesting because Meta is that universe, because there's the paid subscription not just for the Instagram but for Facebook and for WhatsApp too, which
I
I do
know.
not know.
WhatsApp is crazy. I don't want to pay for
How does
customized
that
stickers.
work?
You get customized stickers, you get profile customizations.
Yeah.
Um, and I swear that was it. It was, yeah. But the
Wow.
ambition with all of that, although it's rolled out subscriptions per each of those platforms, the goal is to eventually converge them all into one. And literally the company,
Unify.
yeah, you will assimilate.
Yeah.
The company was called Meta One or whatever. And so, yeah, that also is a lot
Yeah.
of question marks around what it means to be a creator, or a small-time musician operating in that, when it's like it will continue to change.
Totally. Totally. And I feel like it is another draw card to pull you into this universal subscription. Oh, now we're actually combining the WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook all together, and it's just an extra $3. So you're already hooked on the Instagram paid
While
subscription
you're
model, but
here,
now you've also, yeah, now you've got to pay for WhatsApp as well.
yeah.
Yeah, a space to watch, I think.
Hmm.
Social media in general. I don't know. It feels similar to, I've said it a few times now with streaming. I feel like we're on the precipice of some kind of revolution in terms of musical consumption. Maybe this is going to happen with social media too. Is it getting aged? We might be about due for the next TikTok, whatever the next thing is.
Yes, I hope so. I hope that people are more willing to kind of jump ship to other more innovative or more values-focused platforms. Or even, I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see a shift of people going like more offline, a return to like the analog days or the in-person connection days. Or at least that's what I'd love to see. But yeah,
It's
potentially.
strange because I feel like everyone says that's what they would like to see, but it's so hard to break out of the matrix. Maybe that points to like a more localized social media.
Yeah, potentially. Also, side note, I recently watched The Matrix as well. Speaking of movies I haven't seen.
There you go.
Yeah,
Great. I love The Matrix.
great
That's
film.
one of the best sci-fi films out there, and its predictive models. I love it.
Yes. I would love
Scary.
to see the rise of more community-driven social media and like like smaller pockets, I guess, emerging. Um,
Like a real world matrix or something like that. That
oh,
would be
you know
really
what? Let's just
cool.
plug in, or like maybe we already are.
If we're not already, yeah.
If yeah,
Anywho, let's distract ourselves from that thought with a little bit of music. We've got our song of the month. It's from local artist Kieran Wallace, his new song, Shades of Shame. We're going to have a little listen to that now and come back and talk to you all about it. See you soon, folks.
I'll get sober tomorrow. Meet with my friends and pretend when they ask how I'm doing, and say the truth isn't lonely. I'm learning how to find comfort on my own. I look out for the rain and the sunsets, run from the day without warning.
Shades of Shame by Kieran Wallace. We are back here on the AUNZ Music Podcast. Hayley, checking in with you first. What landed for you with that song? What caught your attention? Where did your ears go?
it's not about what landed for me; it's about where I landed with that song.
Ooh. Okay, hit me.
It took me to a small timey pub in the best possible way. It's like a Friday night. I'm bopping along. I've got my beer or whatever in hand, and there's like a small group of people dancing. Like that was a bop.
Yeah, I like that. I love a visualization practice when it comes to analyzing music. Sometimes it's easiest, and you're right, you set it up so well. Sometimes it's about where you land with the music.
What about you? Where did you go?
There was a couple of points that really standed out to me. For starters, I like the subtle way he highlighted the chorus. With bringing in a shaker was really effective in the chorus. The melody climbs up quite nicely, and it has some repetition of the phrases within that chorus, and the harmonies were beautiful in the chorus too. Loved the sax solo that just sneaked in there. I was thinking, yeah, I'm grooving to this kind of bridge breakdown, and then the sax just put the cherry on the top. There was one thing that was just slightly in my ears too much: bass. I felt like the bass guitar was just a little bit too present, and that might have just been a mixing thing, or maybe it was a touch too busy for my liking. But it didn't disturb from the track, and he wrote this track after listening to a lot of Crowded House. That was his primary influence in there. And I could smell some Crowded House within it. There was definitely some essences of Crowded House there. Yeah. Anything else that jumped out to you?
Yes. I think what's also really interesting about this song is it's obviously presented musically in a very upbeat and lighthearted way, like you would be singing in a pub and you can just kind of tap your foot. But the lyrics in particular are like kind of painting a much more melancholy picture. And it's kind of a really interesting contrast because he talks about, oh, I'll stop drinking soon. And like, I feel a bit lonely. And even in the tone of how he was singing it, for example, in the chorus, there was a few opportunities to like, sing it in that very bright kind of like, yep, and now we're gonna go watch the sunset kind of way. But even that was all painting a picture that this is someone who is not yet on the other side of those shades of shame. It's almost like they're constantly having to wade through it. And in the chorus, they're kind of inviting that person to come with me into the morning. Mourning meaning like grieving.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think there was even some tonal articulations of the voice in there where there was some breaking points in the voice, or like weaker moments, crackly moments that which I would say is stereotypical of shame. That's that moment where you feel a little bit weaker, a little bit down on yourself, a little bit questioning your actions to a degree. So yeah, that's a good insight there. I like that. And speaking of the song feedback, one thing that comes up with a lot of artists we work with and is how hard it is to get clear, useful responses to their music. And at GYMjot, we run a feedback process designed to slow that moment down, helping artists understand what's working, what's unclear, and what questions a piece of work is actually asking. There's a free option if you want a structured page of notes, and a deeper analysis if you're looking to really unpack a track. Occasionally, these submissions even find their way back into the conversations right here on the podcast. If that sounds useful, you can find it at gymjot.com.au. All right, back to the conversation. We're diving into my favorite part of the chat, the artist development insights. Hayley, where are you going to take us today as what you would class yourself as a beginner songwriter, performer, musician? You've also got a great background in marketing that might shine some light on the processes that people could be adopting or useful insights into that territory. Take this however you like, or feel free to hit a few nails on the head as you go.
Ooh, open floor, open mic, listening
Yeah.
room style.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think even you invited me onto this podcast very graciously. I think I felt a bit of imposter syndrome because of that notion that I'm a beginner songwriter. And I think even though it's so fast and loose what that means to different people, like what it means to be a musician or to be in the space, yeah, I think I still grapple with that sometimes. And I know sometimes you go asking people for what are your tips and advice. I think I'm still very much wading through that, similar to old mate Kieran, who was still shedding the shades of shame. I'm still
Yeah.
wading through the questions of like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, identifying as a songwriter, I guess. But yeah, I think
Let me say that
I don't know where else.
that's something that doesn't ever go away, I think. Because if imposter syndrome is catalyzed by comparison, there's always someone you can compare yourself to as a musician, a songwriter. There's always someone that you feel like you're pulling up short against. And we tend to use those frame of references rather than where we were at the start, because we all started at some point as a beginner, and whatever it is, as on your instrument, a singer, a lyricist, a collaborator, whatever it may be, we've all been there. We've all waded through that water. And it's just the willingness to do that. And, there's shallow waters and then deeper waters and then shallow waters again. And it just keeps going. And I would say that's the beauty of the musical journey, and that it is the gift that keeps on giving. If you want to have something to constantly pursue and to give, it gives me my life meaning. It gives me something to do, some sort of laser focus into something, or broader focus, whatever it may be. And I'm always learning things from experts and beginners alike,
Yeah. I think what you said about the willingness to give it a go is like the big thing. I read this kind of someone's thoughts the other day, who was basically saying the reason they didn't enjoy something despite wanting to get into it as a hobby, in this case it would be music, they were really struggling with it because they sucked at it. And I think it's so true. It's like you can look at someone who spent years refining their craft and be like, wow, they make it look so effortless, and like, I'm so jealous and I wish I could play that. But then, yeah, it's like, oh, hang on a minute, you have to suck first. I remember when I was learning the ukulele as an adult, which that in of itself was, yeah, a very new thing for me. I remember trying to strum the strings in a way that didn't hurt. I don't know if this is like just me learning it wrong, but like I would like try and get the wrist motion going and like get a rhythm. And every time I would like smack my fingers slightly too hard on the strings, it would hurt so much. I remember one time I literally cried over it. I was like, this hurts. Can I stop? And then eventually it got better and eventually I got the technique. But man, that's the waiting. That's the
Oh
that's the
yeah,
difficult part.
through the pain. I remember trying to
Literally.
learn. I remember trying to learn bar chords on the guitar. That pain stays with me. I feel like such a evil person when I'm teaching my students bar chords now. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna suck. I'm sorry, but
Those
they're
calluses
so
won't form
important.
themselves.
Wow, the bar chord's really weird because you have to just do like this really strange position with your wrist that you would never do unless you're doing bar chords. And it's just a lot of strength of like intricate muscles that once again are very specific to guitar. But yeah, the calluses on steel strings, that's real as well.
Steel strings, wow.
Oh yeah, none of that
That's commitment.
ukulele nylon carry on.
I didn't know my pinky could have so much strength.
Oh
in,
yeah.
like reaching for these frets.
Yeah, you got to stay dexterous, you know. Music's good.
Yes, got to stay
Yeah.
calloused.
For sure. How about in the land of marketing? If you were an emerging artist approaching your first single release, and your primary channels are Instagram and TikTok, what would be one of your top 3 advices anyway? How would you approach that
Ooh.
moment? That's kind of a broad
Bold of
one,
you to
but
think I've got 3 advices. Yeah, it is a bit broad, but I mean, obviously the first piece of advice is to just, it's very easy to say, just do it. Because I feel like that's the hardest part, is to like do the first post. Or especially if you're connected to your friends, co-workers, random family members, it can be a bit daunting to kind of, again, position yourself as like, yep, I'm a musician, I'm releasing music, I've made a music video. Potentially going back to that imposter syndrome again, where it's like, how do you bridge your identity? So yeah, that would be the one of 3 advice. Definitely just send it.
Yeah, the assertion of your identity. That's a whole it's a whole problem in and of itself. But yeah, got to be done if you're going to be releasing music and you want to be vocal about it.
Yeah. I also feel like, okay, this is another piece. This is not one single piece of advice now. Especially with the idea of marketing, and especially if it's like someone's first single, and speaking of identity, there is this idea of the North Star that kind of guides your music and sound and inspiration. And I think just being a little bit clear on what that is, even if it's as explicit as, okay, this is the genre that inspires me, or this is where I want to be operating within, could be one example. And that's how you kind of introduce yourself. It's like, yep, I like this. These are my inspirations of artists, and this is the music I want to create.
For sure.
But then also even could be values led. It's a bit esoteric, I know. It's not like practical marketing advice, but it's
I think it's very important. I think that's brand positioning. You know,
yeah,
that is aligning yourself with a message, a deeper message of why you're releasing the music. The North Star for your audience, yeah, you could explicitly talk about that as well. That could be part of a first post, but I feel like your music should do a lot of the talking around that as well. But it's a chicken and egg equation, I think, with these things when it comes to being a creative. I think your North Star shines through in your creations, or those are the creations that speak to you most, the ones that you're like, this one, I feel like I want to put out there, you know, like this is the one that really captured part of me that I think, or maybe there's several that you find yourself over and over again. You'll keep coming back to this idea, these same themes. And then I think that's normally telling. That's your creative instinct telling you something, that you need to tell the world something.
I feel like if I could give a more practical piece of advice, it would probably be something around almost like preparation and timing. Obviously, it's one thing to post something on social media, but it's another thing to kind of have the background of that prepared. For example, if you were to also send it out to the local radio, or if you were to also, try and get it kind of exposed in other channels. So even things like having enough of a runway of when this song is going to be released, instead of like, oh, yep, next week, this one's just dropped. Probably, yeah, slightly more difficult if it's like your very first one, because it's kind of like you haven't yet fully built the audience who's going to anticipate the release. But yeah, I think it's a good habit for people to try and get into early on, definitely, of like, okay, if it's a month from now, what can I do to like build the hype for that, I guess.
For sure. And that might even be more of just a internal discussion or a discussion with friends. It doesn't mean that you have to necessarily start posting or being present a month ahead, but it means you should at least start thinking about it at that point, about, okay, how am I going to actually post about the song? It might be a 1 week campaign building up. That might be what best works for you, your time, your lifestyle. But thinking about that, having that plan before, a month in advance instead of the day before the week that's for starting, have all that ready, have all your content pieces ready, have all the captions ready, or slowly get them ready instead of just being like, bang, 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 I've got to do this all now. And, 1 month is like minimum when it comes to preparing a release campaign for music, and that's for distribution reasons as well. You want to send your song through a distribution channel 1 month at least. I mean, more's better. It's always going to be better. The time just ticks away so quick, you don't even know, and then you're like, oh my god, my song's released tomorrow.
It does. And even things like people writing up artist bios and everything, like little miniature press kits so they can send out. Again, if this is literally the very first song you're ever making, maybe you can get away without it. But like if you're sort of getting into more of a, not even schedule, but like if you're doing it more on the regular, having that all prepared, and artist headshots as well if you're sending it out to radios, and like you said, or if you're posting it online, get that photo shoot booked.
For sure. Talk about swinging back into identity. Like walk the walk. If it feels funny,
Yeah.
this is what a real musician does. A real musician does. Like a commercial full-time musician does. They do all of these things. They get the press kit. They get a team around them. They get the photo shoot done. They have a release strategy. They and with AI these days, I don't think you really have an excuse. Get a bio done, run it through an AI platform. Voila, you're good to go.
You're good to go. I think as well though, like speaking of like advice or artist development and stuff, I think I'm a mad perfectionist with like black and white thinking. And even like when I start to talk about things like that or hear that sort of advice getting thrown around of like, okay, yep, you want to make sure you got a bio, you want to make sure you got a schedule, have your captions ready and your headshot. I definitely feel like sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming where it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. And I definitely feel the fear where it's like, if I was to post one thing about one song, it sometimes feels a bit like pressure to kind of keep it going, or there's always a pressure to kind of build momentum and grow and like build that audience, get that engagement. And so I think it is also good to have realistic expectations around, okay, maybe it's just one post and that's fine.
Thank you for grounding us once again. That's great.
I say it for myself as well.
Yeah,
I haven't implemented that yet. I'm still stuck, but
yeah, I think you always got to meet yourself with where you're at in your lifestyle and how you're operating in your day to day. That's ground zero. Meet yourself there.
That's it.
Understand what you can and cannot do. See how much time you can put into it a week. If it's 1 hour, if it's 30 minutes, that's good. Sit down for 30 minutes and think about your music for 30 minutes. See what happens. Maybe you find out something about the identity of the North Star. Maybe you realize you only want to post for 1 week before your release. Maybe you're like, oh, I heard that radio show the other day. I think my song would actually kind of suit that style. It might fit in that playlist. Might reach out to them.
Mm.
Whatever it may be. Meet yourself where you are. I think that's good. I think we're good. We slapped a lot into that artist development segment.
Yeah.
We're like, build
There's
it
a lot of
all up,
development
do this,
still to
do
go.
this, do this, and then we're like, or don't do
Yeah,
that.
This is the trap endlessly.
It-
It's like, oh,
it
and then you could
is.
do this, and then you could do that. See, this is where I get. See, this is actually, do you know one thing I would have added or would add
Please.
is like, I think I also struggle with it even more so because I work in marketing. It would be different if I had a different day job and it's like, oh yeah, this is a thing I'm doing on the side and I'm learning it as a hobby or it's a byproduct of me releasing music. But I feel like because I'm like exposed to like many other great artists who they themselves are working really hard and like, you know, hustling to get it done, or like, yeah, there's like a conflict of interest almost. That's not the word. Where it's like, oh, I feel extra pressure to have the best performing caption.
Yeah. I should be good at this.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
it's rough.
Yeah, well, good's a tough word when it comes to marketing, I think. It's really hard to know what's the right way to phrase something to capture an idea at certain moments. Yeah.
You're a songwriter.
Yeah. I'm not a caption writer.
Yeah, true. It's like songwriting, but way less space.
And no one said I was a good songwriter. I'm just a songwriter, yo.
I think you're a good songwriter.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. With all that said, let's close this one out. Hayley, thank you so much for joining us on the AUNZ Music Podcast. Any final words that you would like to add to the mix?
Just thank you so much for having me. It's a true honor. It's a delight. Yeah, super happy to have been here. Thank you for the intro. Thank you for, the great song and article pick.
Nice. I'm glad you encountered the imposter syndrome of coming onto the podcast and came to have a chat. Awesome work. All right, team. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.